Well, good morning. There was a lot of conversation over the course of the campaign about the importance of the mayor, the sheriff, the office of the mayor, and the office of the sheriff working together. We both committed to that in the campaign and have done just that. Public safety, I've stated, is a top priority, making sure that that Mike and his team, and that frankly others that are involved in public safety, have the resources available to them to make sure that Jacksonville is in fact doing everything that it can for every neighborhood on the public safety front. You may recall that when I was in transition mode last year, the election was May 19th. I was sworn in July 1. In that in-between period, one of the first things I did was travel to Tallahassee to secure the COPS grant. Working with Mike, we worked that together. That was the initial, before I was even sworn in, before Mike was even sworn in, to begin efforts to secure funding for necessary and needed resources. To that end, we have, over the course of this last year, we have formally scheduled meetings, speak regularly via phone, and meet informally when we need to talk about a whole host and series of issues. One of the things that we recognized we needed early on, Mike shared with me, additional police officers and bringing back the community service officers, which we did in the first budget. And we did it without a tax increase. And then as we got into the year, recognizing that because the resources available to Mike had been so depleted in previous years that we needed overtime, that presence, a real presence in neighborhoods would make a difference. And we were able to do that, to work together and provide $1.5 million in overtime, which Mike will talk about how that's worked. We've continued to invest in other things that the sheriff and I know is a long-term solution, and that's prevention and intervention. So we're just here today to say that we are working together, that what JSO is doing is working, and the people of Jacksonville need to know that. And with that, I'd like to introduce the sheriff, and also someone that's become a friend over the course of the last year plus. Sheriff.
Deal. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me give you a little bit of explanation about what you're going to see today and the graph that we've got up here. So as you guys, many of you guys know, we've been very data-driven at JSO for many years, and we use data to deploy resources, and we track series, patterns, and trends. We meet every Wednesday morning in a ComStat style meeting, and we hold the zone commanders accountable through some accountability-driven leadership concepts that we use here at JSO. In doing that, that's been a great tool for us and continues to be a great tool. We're going to continue to do that. But in this past year, we've really taken a different look and drilled down a little deeper into those numbers. And we have really focused on non-domestic shootings in our community. We feel like that is, and believe that is a significant driver to a lot of the violence that we see here in Jacksonville. Well, to that end, in December of last year, January of this year, we had a big spike in non-domestic shootings. With that, we immediately went to the mayor and to the council. We came up with the overtime plan, as the mayor mentioned. We were able to put those officers on the street because, again, the mayor and council acted quickly, and want to thank them for that. We were able to put those officers on the street at the end of January. And again, putting the right policeman in the right place at the right time does reduce crime. More policemen does equal less crime. And this stat shows that. So what we've done since January is, again, is utilize overtime dollars. We have put 24,000 man-hours on the street in some really challenged neighborhoods in our community. And through that, you get what you've got here today. So we have really, from our high in January, created an on-average reduction, cumulative reduction of about 40% in non-domestic shootings. That's a significant number. So again, a number that we haven't looked at a lot of the past previous years. We've talked about violent crime as a whole. We've talked about property crime, and then we combine them and talk about crime in general as a whole, and we'll talk about that briefly here in just a second. But our new focus is to really drill down and look at these non-domestic shootings, and you're going to hear more about that, in the months to come. So again, we've utilized 24,000 man hours. We've spent just over $1 million of that 1.5 million so far.